My most important issue is more about the democratic process. I don't really feel like our votes matter.
Can you believe that New Age Mojang actually did something right? Neither can I, but here we are. Minecraft's dreaded yearly mob vote has ended and will never come back.
If you're wondering what a mob vote is, it was a tradition that started at Minecon, where players could vote on one of 3 fully fleshed out mobs for Mojang to add to the game. You know, instead of just adding all 3 to the game.
But Mojang has now stated that they're getting rid of the mob vote altogether, promising more updates to the game and I guess bringing it to this useless thing.
Welcome to Necro News, the show where we cover the hottest gaming news from the last week. This week we'll be covering Unity, Ubisoft, and Necro all backpedaling in their own way, the issues with Deadlock, the shocking restructuring of Annapurna, and a lot more.
So subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave us your thoughts below.
But seriously, who is this for? Isn't it like close to $1,000?
$699 US.
Can't you just get a decent gaming laptop for that much?
Just buy a computer, especially since the remaster of the SMT game that everyone likes has been revealed. Oh yeah, it's Devil Summoner Raido and the Solus Army, the one that I gave the collector's edition away for free to a person who just threw it away.
Hopefully you've learned by now.
Like double full speed reverse! Hang on!
We've been cut in half! Now what'll we do?
Sink!
That was an accurate representation of the one person making good decisions at Ubisoft. I don't think this is enough to save the company, but surprising literally everyone, Ubisoft has announced that they'll be adding offline support for both the Crew 2 and TC Motorfest, which means when they inevitably go offline, as all live service games do, it'll be fully playable and single player.
And this is great for me because I really enjoy the Crew 2, despite me not really caring about cars. But I just enjoy driving around the map and just taking in the sights. There is no word on if there will be some sort of peer-to-peer multiplayer option, but according to Ubisoft, they heard our concerns.
More specifically, they said, "We heard your concerns about access to the Crew games. Today we want to express our commitment to the future of the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest. We can confirm an offline mode to ensure long-term access to both titles. Stay tuned for more news in the next months." So this is basically Ubisoft saying they got scared at the Stop Killing Games campaign.
Which they damn well should be, since just under a few months it's amassed 354,000 of its 1 million needed signatures and still has 10 months to go. Unfortunately, this is not all good news as there is no word of the first Crew game getting offline support, which means we still may never get to play that one again, unless these boys do it.
That being said, I guess they're using this whole, "hey look, we did a good thing" momentum to put the Crew 2 on sale for $1. Which would be cool to me if I cared anything about cars, which I don't.
Remember a year ago when Unity decided to shoot itself in the foot repeatedly? That one time where they introduced the runtime fee for Unity gamers? If you don't know what we're talking about, you can check it out in the previous episode of Necro News and this side story where we talked about it in full detail.
But if you do know what we're talking about or just came back from watching that video, we can all agree that it was a stupid idea. And after almost a year, Unity has finally decided to do the smart thing and listen to their customers and community and have finally gotten rid of it.
But wait, if we look past the actual post, there are some other stuffs in the work, like subscription price increases.
We've got to have money.
Unity Pro will get an 8% increase in price and Unity Enterprise will get a 25% increase in price.
That's basically the story. Unity still sucks, nothing has changed, except now they can pretend they suck less, I guess.
Honestly though, I gotta give it to them. They really lived up to their name. I don't think I've ever seen a company unite the entirety of the internet in so much hate, so quickly, so openly, like Unity did. Well, this was not something I was wanting to see this year. Annapurna Interactive, the game publisher behind games like Unfinished Swan, Cocoon, and Ellie's favorite cat game, Stray, has resigned.
That is resigned and not laid off. How did an entire company resign, you might be asking? Well, the company wasn't very big to begin with only about 25 people. Apparently the resignation comes from a dispute between the president of Annapurna, Nathan Gary, and the company's owner, Megan Ellison.
Nathan was wanting to expand the publishing arm out into its very own independent entity, which Ellison pulled out faster than Anyway, for those who are worried if games like Wonderstop are still coming out, yes, they are. A spokesperson told Bloomberg that all existing Annapurna projects will continue under the brand, so that's good, I guess.
What's not good is that this effectively means that one of the most prolific indie publishers no longer really exists. Hector Sanchez, who co-founded Annapurna before resigning, has been rehired to become the president of the game publishing division.
Alright, boomers, you tell me. I want to know what you guys think of this. What are your thoughts? Is all hope lost for this small indie publisher?
I just want to see the little orange boy and Stray go back to its little cat family. Anyway, as the Dorito Pope himself deemed during the VGAs last year, Dave the Diver's developer, Mint Rocket, is in fact an indie developer, and it doesn't matter that they were backed up by resources given to them by Nexon. It's fine. They are still in fact an indie company.
Except not anymore, they aren't. Nexon has openly established Mint Rocket as a subsidiary of themselves. It was my best shot. Meaning that they are now saying openly what everyone thought all along.
According to Nexon, they're restructuring the studio to reflect Mint Rocket's fresh approach to developing high-engaging small-scale games for global audiences. Also to complement Nexon's established expertise in large-scale games. Additionally, they've nominated Mint Rocket's Jae-ho Hwang as its first CEO. So in short, it was Nexon all along, and nothing has really changed, probably.
We don't have a single fact to back up that nothing has probably changed, but it is Nexon, so we'll believe it. In other totally indie game news, this one is actually a little sad. Oxenfree was a popular game where you would play as a teenager who unwittingly opened up a rift to a ghost dimension.
Amateurs.
The game was offered on most consoles as well as Steam, Netflix, and more importantly, directly by the developer on the game site itch.io.
But not for much longer, as the developer has sent out a message to all owners of the game via itch.io that stated October 1st, 2024, the game will no longer be purchasable or even downloadable even if you've bought the game.
There are rumors that state that this sudden and uncharacteristic pull from the indie dev-centric site is due to Netflix, as they now own Night School Studios, and the itch.io version of the game is DRM free, but I don't know. It's just hearsay. Knowing how Netflix operates though, thank you Henry Cavill, we wouldn't be surprised though.
Nice shot. Good shot, mate.
Valve has a botting problem, and we all know this, especially since we covered the TF2 botting problem a lot. Mostly because Skull has put in 2,000 hours into the game, but it's still been a big problem hitting all of their modern games as well.
Counter-Strike, Dota, and some regions. And now their new game that's not even finished, Deadlock, is plagued with cheaters. And they have all the hacks you'd expect. Movement hacks, wall hacks, aimbox, the works.
Look at the curve! They're curving!
She's just pulling a wanted.
Unfortunately for Valve though, fixing this isn't simple, as it's a matter of manpower and development.
Deadlock, despite its over 100,000 player count, is still in early development. It's still in the process of being changed into its current art style, and while the gameplay may seem like it's fit to run, stuff behind the scenes isn't set up for this kind of problem. Case in point is that the player report feature doesn't even have a cheating option.
Which means all bans of the game are done manually, which if you're an old gamer sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but in the case of the Deadlock team, it's a problem because of how small the team size is. Anyway, as of right now, this is just basically a PSA, as there's no real details to the story. It's not like TF2's hacker war problem, where there were effectively networks of hackers going at war with each other, but it's still not great.
And on a related note, at the time of writing, last week saw the delivery of all the signatures for the FXTF2 campaign to Valve headquarters. The people in charge of the campaign bought tickets to Valve and hand-delivered it to their office. The signatures were even put in a hardcover book. What chads? Here's a question for you boomers out there, and not like boomers are fan base, but like actual literal boomers. Have you ever heard of the band Heaven 17? Because we certainly haven't.
Yeah, like I listen to a lot of music and I've never heard of them, but apparently they were a big band in the 80s, I guess.
Well, Rockstar certainly thought they were, as they wanted to use their hit song Temptation in the upcoming GTA 6. And do you guys want to guess how much they offered to the band for using their song? Actually, yes. Guess how much you thought it was in the comments down below. Also, no cheating. They offered $7,500 without royalties.
Oh, fuck off!
That's exactly what the founder of Heaven 17 said to them. To quote directly, it was $7,500 for a buyout of any future royalties from the game forever. To put this into context, Grand Theft Auto 6 grossed, wait for it, $8.6 billion. But think of the exposure. Go fuck yourself.
Not sure where you got that figure from since, GTA 6 isn't even out yet, but anyway.
He did also clarify that it was $7,500 per writer, which was still around like $22K, but that's not enough from a multi-billion-dollar franchise. And yeah, despite this absolutely deplorable display of greed, many fans were calling H17 stupid for passing up on the exposure. Because a band from the 80s needs exposure, right?
I mean, we've never heard of them. That said, I don't understand why people defend GTA so much.
Honestly, at least someone who's played like 3 of them, I also don't get it. It's nowhere near as good as like Cyberpunk or Sleeping Dogs. But anyway, that's it for the news.
This week's Buried Alive Banger, a segment where we cover a game our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is called Digital Tamers 2. It's a Digimon fan game.
Yes, it is, and a good one too, especially since it has over 400 Digimon in the game. And it's arguably the best Tamagotchi experience you can get with a Digimon. And best of all, it has Locomon, which is the best Digimon of all time.
And here are the games coming out this week. Nothing really to note, though Skull is excited for Frostpunk 2. Oh, and I guess the Dead Rising remaster is coming out too.
And here's our schedule this week. We'll be doing more Lies of P and more System Shock. And this week we'll also be doing a watch-along of the Keanu Reeves Constantine in the Discord.
And that's it for this week's Necro News. If you like what we do here and want to keep up to date, subscribe to the channel.
We haven't done an emote in a while, so if you're still watching, put a blue hat in the comments. Don't ask me why, I like trains.
We'd also like to give a shout out to our channel and coffee members. Because of you, we can keep making more Necro News.
That's all we have, so until next time, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.